Today's video, I wanted to talk about something that's kind of been on my mind for a while, and it's essentially it's just finding your way back on the path, and it's in relation to when you're going along in life and things felt like they were going pretty good, at least in the moment, at the time, and then suddenly things are no longer going that way, and I feel personally like as you get older, it gets a little bit harder because as you've made mistakes in the past or things have changed outside of your control or you got blindsided by things, um, you take it into account and you learn from it and you start to get a feeling that maybe you can avoid having those situations come up or have them way less as you get older. But I don't think that's how it works, to be honest. I think it's more so the situations just become more complicated and definitely not any easier, that's for sure. So I feel like there's like three steps you can do that really do help whenever something blindsides you, whether it's, you get laid off from a job or there's a sickness going on in your family or some disease or your relationship doesn't work out or maybe you just don't like where you live anymore and things just don't feel like it's working out for you in that method. Um, So the first thing I think that's really important that I don't see most people doing, and myself included, it's when something does happen, is first to notice it. Notice that something has changed, and instead of trying to avoid it or push it away and hope that it just kind of disappears, a big thing I see people doing, especially in the West, is they will immediately run out and bury themselves in as much new stuff as possible right away. So that might be maybe getting a brand new job and then working as hard as you can at it and then getting a new hobby right away and constantly just go, 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 go and jumping into stuff. Which I can understand why people do that, but I don't think that's healthy. I think what should be done is, at least just in my opinion, just take a moment, take some time and just reflect on how you feel, and how things around you are going. And don't try to fix anything or make any big decisions or changes or big moves like, like I was just talking about. No, just actually sit with the moment and just be aware of how you're feeling because you probably won't feel great. And that's okay. You're allowed to not feel great in these moments. Um, the lighting's a little off, but it is what it is. It's much healthier to sit in the feelings of discomfort than to try and run away from them, I think. Um, that way you can actually just be present with them and kind of see where you're at physically, mentally, and just like your perception of life. Um, and once you do that, step two would be self reflect in a broader sense, in terms that maybe start looking inward and kind of seeing where can you identify objectively where you could have gone wrong, maybe some signs you were ignoring, um, mistakes you were making but you kept pushing to the side. And then don't forget to look around you too, the people around you. Like, don't be hard on yourself and think that it was all your fault, no matter what it was. In my experience, it usually takes two at minimum to make something happen like that. And don't fall into the trap of when you start looking around you to immediately start pointing the finger at everything else and everybody else around you. Because I don't feel like that's very healthy. And it's not really the point of this whole thing. Um, what you should be trying to do is just get a good outline and a good understanding of the situation that happened. That way, in the future, maybe you'll be more aware of things that are coming and you can recognize what's happening and then go, oh, nope, Seen that before. Or just be more aware. Just be more aware of kind of what's coming up in the future. Just don't try to drill too hard into yourself, and don't attack other people around you or play the blame game. That's not going to help you out, I don't think. Um, it's just best to, as objectively as possible, which is, you can't be 100% objective about yourself and others, but you can just try to take a step back and look at it like you're looking at someone else's situation for a little bit. Um, and then the third step, which I think is really important before you do anything, is make a plan. And don't just jump into something and say, okay, well, I did those two things and it's time to go, just go do something, and just choose the first thing you can think of to take your mind off of it. Go out there and actually start looking at the last two steps you were doing. Was there anything that popped up in your mind? As in something that you probably had wanted to change for a while, but hadn't, or maybe a different place where you live, a different job, and then try and figure out the best way to move forward from that. And just take it in little planned, very methodical steps, remembering why you're making the choices you are, and then putting it into practice with thought behind it after you've kind of realized the situation, and just kind of see how you feel. Take it slow. And maybe the first couple things you do don't work out well. I mean, like, I moved halfway across the country, 1,500 miles for some reason. I don't regret doing it, but it was definitely a big, very stressful time. And usually when you make changes in your life, it is going to be very stressful because change is stressful. Even people that say they love change, or they don't have any issue with change and they look forward to it, while that might be true, naturally as a person, you're designed to be stressed when there's change in your life because you're trying to learn a new area, you're trying to learn a new job, and everything's fresh and new and you're unfamiliar, and that causes stress and anxiety. But if you go into it with a plan, some sort of map when you go into it, you'll feel a lot better during it, because at least you won't feel like you're just floundering around in the dark or like a fish out of water. You'll have some sort of heading in what direction you want to be going. And that's very important, just to have some solid foundation to sit on. But all in all, though, things are going to happen in life and they can be hard to deal with. But you do learn something every time, and that's important. And just don't forget that there's a lot of other people going through things too. And I'm not a big fan of the term or the idea that, oh, there's other people going through stuff that's way worse, so you shouldn't even worry about it. Because I don't think so. I think if you think and you feel that what you're going through is tough, well, then it's tough. Don't let other people tell you how to feel. You need to figure it out for you. And you need to take care of yourself sometimes, because I feel like a lot of us just get so caught up in the grind and running and going forward and constantly just, climbing mountains, instead of taking a moment to sit down and drink a cup of tea and just reflect on the day, I guess. It's a bad analogy, but, it's important sometimes. Maybe take some time for yourself. Maybe just because you come home and you watch a movie every night, or you get on your phone for a little bit for yourself, and people call that selfish sometimes, that's not really taking time for yourself. Like, actually go do something for you that you've been wanting to do for a long time, but you've always had an excuse or a reason not to do it. Why not just go do it? What a perfect opportunity when things are in upheaval, to go and do the thing that you never thought you'd have time for or couldn't justify doing. You have the perfect reason right in front of you. So I hope that helps someone. Um, I know times can be tough sometimes, and then there's good times, and it always seems to come like a wave, always just back and forth, back and forth. But in other news, since I mentioned it in the last video about going on a trip somewhere to try out some new stuff, I am going to Hawaii. So tomorrow I will get all set up and ready to go, and then I'm gonna go to the Big Island, the one with the city on it, Maui, I think is what it's called. I could be getting that wrong, but I think it's Maui. Ironically, since I brought it up, I just figured, why not just go and see what happens. So I'll be going there. If there's anything you guys would like to see in Hawaii specifically, like maybe you've been there and you haven't been in a while, and there's something maybe you'd like to see again, see how it looks now after all the events that have gone on over there, let me know. I can go try and track it down somewhere. Or maybe you've never been and there's something you've heard about that you want to see. Let me know. I would love to hear any ideas you guys have. I do want to say thank you again to everyone who left comments, even the person who called me old. I appreciated that one. That actually made me laugh. Reminded me of my age is great. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, thank you to everyone who watched the video, liked it, subscribed, commented. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you. Um, and then I will see you guys when we get to Hawaii. I hope you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.